Hello and welcome to this next module. This is a fairly quick module. It's somewhat of a recap of things we talked about before, but there's one concept I want to introduce to you here at the same time, though. House and Senate. In an earlier module, we talked about some basic differences in a table form between the House and Senate. So, first of all, the House, 435 members, the Senate, 100. And so, from that standpoint, the House has more rules and formality just to get through the basic administration of their business. The Senate, less formal. And I like to present this to my students to think of this way. What's the largest class you've ever taken? Okay, just answer yourself really fast. What's the smallest? Just think from your own experience how those classes differed just in terms of how they were managed, administered, maybe even the differences in the syllabi and so forth. I can tell you from my experience, I think the largest class I've ever taught was 30. The largest class I've ever lectured to was about 120. But if you think about, say, a class of 20 versus a class of 6, which isn't that unusual for Belmont Abbey, uh, there's a sizable difference just in terms of the interaction and how things are administered and taken care of. Second of all, we've discussed this concept in the previous module. The House constantly campaigning. Their members are constantly on the campaign trail with 2-year terms. In the Senate, 6-year terms, they're a little bit more insulated from public opinion. So that does give them a little bit more latitude potentially in how they go about their affairs and matters. Now, this is the one concept that we haven't talked about before I wanted to expose you to. The House, narrow constituencies. The Senate, statewide constituencies. Now, that makes sense on the surface, but let's think about this for a second. In North Carolina, some odd years ago, you had two people from the Piedmont of North Carolina, one in the House and one in the Senate, Elizabeth Dole and Sue Myrick. Both were roughly the same age, give or take. Both were Republicans from the middle part of the state. But why do I present this? Now, I'm not saying this ever happened, but just consider for a second. Two people, same demographic, same party, same ideology, really from the same part of the state. But can't you see where they could potentially be completely at odds from a policy standpoint, just based on who they represent? Sue Myrick's old district, it changed a couple times, but I think Western Mecklenburg County, Eastern Lincoln, Eastern Gaston. So she represented those people, as opposed to Elizabeth Dole, Murphy to Manteo, the whole state. So can't you see that the interest of that small geographical district that Sue Myrick represented would be very much at odds with the rest of the state, potentially. So I just want to present that to you as a concept as well. With that, that's the end of this module, and we will pick it up with the next one. Thank you.